It's showtime. What's up, American Dystopia channel, where we take the diss out of Utopia.
You just made that up.
Yeah. This is completely ridiculous. Make sure that you like, if you haven't yet, make sure that you ding the bell, subscribe to the channel so that you can. I can't even talk today. Lord help.
You need more coffee.
I need some. Anyway, we have a very special guest that we want to bring in here today, and it is Trumper for Yang. Let's bring him in here. You like this picture better?
Yes, that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh my God, my head is huge.
It is nice and shaven.
I'm dominating.
That's usually how I keep my hair too. And it's so funny because like when my hair starts to grow out, I look like that proverbial Trumper, like the MAGA guy.
Exactly.
You know? It's so
I just
funny.
sent out a tweet saying that I shaved my head to look even more Republican. But hey, this is just my summer do, you know.
It's nuts, man. It's absolutely nuts. So I'm gonna give you a minute to introduce yourself for those who don't know who you
are. Trumper for Yang. No, guys. A minute to introduce myself. I was a Trump supporter, lifelong Republican, and until I ran into this Asian guy that liked math, that wanted to give everybody $1,000 a month. This was what, December of 18. And yeah, I saw him first when I saw him with Chuck Fossey, and he was given, Chuck Fossey was one of the first recipients of the Freedom Dividend, and you know, saw a little cheesy commercial for Andrew, kind of said, you know, what the fuck's going on here? And you know, because I knew about UBI because I automated away my office staff, and I was concerned about the future, and so I went to go check out his website, and he paid for UBI. I was never able to pay for UBI in my head. A business owner, and I know numbers, and I just never was able to square that circle. And he squared the circle, and he had me from then. And so I've been campaigning for him ever since then, unofficially, and I've never been officially part of the campaign or anything like that. And yeah, that's the long and short of it.
That's crazy. You said that you automated away your office workers. What's up with that?
Yeah, money, baby. I own a business. You know, I got a family to take care of too, and that's the wave of the future. You know, I'm a small guy, small business. I've been in business 20 years or so, and I saw an opportunity to automate away my office staff, and so I took it. I invested a few $1,000. I had some contract overseas with some programmers from India. Took me months, and I was done. Afforded my wife and I, my family, to go travel full time for several months, go see the country. We hit all the states. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, it sucks and it sounds fucked up, but you know what? People are going to be doing this. Millions of business owners are going to be doing this, and people are going to be asked out. And I find it to be my full-time job now to make sure that everybody I run into and even people that I seek out understand what's coming, because this is coming and UBI is the future, and damn it, we need to get it done now.
Man, that's crazy. Like, and what you was just saying right there, you just illustrated, it was like the perfect illustration for like the motivation behind automating jobs away. It's all about the money, baby.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
money.
It sucks because now those workers who used to work for you, they've got to, you know, their lives change. That it changes their lives for good or for ill. It changes their lives, and it sucks. But man, we got to adapt as a culture, and you know firsthand what it's like to automate away jobs. It's pretty
absolutely nuts. You know, at first I'm excited about it. You know, I'm a daily meditator. This crazy thought just came into my head as I was meditating. I was like, wait, can I fucking do that? And I ran the numbers, baby, and I was like, oh my God, I can do this. You just think what a human does day in and day out, machines can do, and in my case, code can do. And so paid for the code, eliminated the people. And you know what? When you replace 4 jobs, that's 4 salaries that I don't have to pay. And again, I know that sounds rough, man. It sounds like an asshole thing to do and to say, but I'm just a business owner. I've got my bottom line to look out for, and millions of other people just like me across the country are going to be doing the same damn thing.
So, and I mean, it kind of makes it rough because, like, you know, we both came from the Republican side, and it's almost like, it's like if we see it, why doesn't the rest of the Republican side see it, man? This shit is crazy.
You know, I don't know. Well, I do know. It's unfamiliarity. They haven't been introduced properly because every time I have a reasonable discussion with a Republican, it goes swimmingly. I can get them to our side, and I have. I've done it hundreds, if not thousands of times. The problem is, and again, everyone always jumps on me because I always get partisan. But you know what? That's my gig, man. I want to drop the partisanship. And to drop the partisanship, you need to identify how partisan everything is. When somebody on this side, on the Dem side, comes up and talks to you about how much of a Nazi you are, how much of a racist you are, how much, you know, all these sexist, xenophobe, all these things, just because you're a Republican, and even more so because you voted for the evil Donald Trump that eats babies in his cereal for breakfast. You know, it's like, look, brother, all of a sudden shit shut down. You're not going to get anything across to anybody. But you come up with a line of mutual respect, and you have a grown up conversation. The shit that we're talking makes nothing but sense. And it's like what I tell everybody: if you're sitting around with somebody around the campfire and it's just you and that person, and you're talking, 90% of the time, baby, you guys are going to agree on shit. It's when you virtual signal and you show off for your friends or whatever is when disagreements occur.
You're absolutely right, and it's so funny that you said, because we're the same way. You know, we have found that it's been a lot easier to talk to Republicans as opposed to Democrats about Andrew Yang. It's nuts to me. And I'm like, why is Andrew even fucking over here, dude? You know, it's crazy because it's like he gets no respect from the Democrat side. And it's just like, y'all should be jumping on his nutsack. This guy is the Democrat savior because everything over here is fucked. I mean, I'm sitting here, I'm watching it, you know, coming from the conservative side, and I get over here to the Democrat side, not saying that the Republicans are any better because they're fucked too. But man, it's almost like you've got like some high school backstabbing bullshit that goes on over here on the Democrat side.
Dude, I totally agree with you. What I think a lot of this that I have and probably YouTube have run into, and that's in social media and probably out in your travels, is the Bernie shit. And when you run into the Bernie bros, that's where a lot of that backstabbing stuff came from. I mean, if you ran up to, little Mayor Pete boy, one of his supporters, I'm sure it wasn't a bunch of shit talking and things like that, like it was with the Bernie bro. So it's going to be interesting to see the way 2024 works out. But you're right. I've tried to stand back. I tried to helicopter view this thing and say, what the fuck? Can I talk to Republicans so much easier than any Democrat, no matter who the hell they're going for, but especially Bernie bros, but we'll put them in their own little doghouse because that's where they belong. No offense. But, you know, and it's just, I try to think, is it easier just for me to talk to Republicans because I am a Republican? And it's just, I just don't think it's the case. I think that Republicans are easier to talk to. They're more open-minded, and they are able to have a more reasonable conversation because they don't start off with the Trump hatred. And, once the Trump regime is over in 2024, sorry guys, guess what? Trump's getting reelected, everybody. Go melt away, go scream, go do your little clappy things, whatever you do with your thumbs, and cry in the streets about it, but it's going to happen. And I guess what? Wow. Biden ain't winning. Biden ain't winning, brothers. Sorry. fucking Joe Biden, he's not winning the election. I am sorry to burst your bubble. I'm here to give you all the bad news. Biden's not winning the election. Trump is your baby for the next 4 years, all right? And so let that shit happen. It is what it is. We'll all fight until then. The day after the election, go have your crying in the streets parade and do your thumb clapping with your pink key hats and all that shit that you guys like to do. After that, let's all grow up and have a real fucking conversation. Let's talk about shit that'll solve the problems of the country, and let's get Andrew Yang elected in 2024, and we're good.
Dennis, I think I think you're go. I think what you're talking about is you're talking. You're talking. Look, we just lost 18 subscribers while you were talking.
Fuck them.
Funny? I think that you're talking about like the far left. You know, the what we refer to as libtards over on conservative. I mean, I'm just being real. You know, but I think that there's this group over here on the Democrat side who's actually about something, you know, and that's more along the lines of maybe like, you know, Tulsi Gabbard and her people and Marianne Williamson and her people. It's more of like this coalition that's in the center and who are trying to get stuff done. And man, I've noticed that they get like the shortest shrift over here on the Democratic side of anybody. Look at how bad Tulsi got it. I mean, it's crazy.
Because Tulsi's not a Democrat.
I mean, she is a name. I mean, so and if there's another one that who should, like, the Democrats should be happy that they're over here. Like, they're the only. Andrew Yang was the only one that was going to pull my vote. He was the only one. He's the only Democrat in my entire life that was like, I was like, yeah, you know, I should vote for this guy. You know, he was just so refreshing, and I was like, you know, he was such a breath of fresh air. It was like, wow, finally somebody is going to bring some common sense to politics.
Well, my thing is, I wasn't looking for a politician. I wasn't looking for a party. I mean, I'm no spring chicken. You know, I'm pushing 50 fucking years old. And I thought that I had my ideas all squared away until, God damn it, that I ran into that Andrew Yang. And he started making some sense. And I had to, you know, kept looking. That's a fucking D? He's got a D on his name? Okay, let's check this out. And sure enough, he had a D on his name. But you know what? These policies aren't Democrat. They're not Republican. It's just like it is, not left, not right, forward, but it's just shit that makes sense. And if you talk shit that makes sense, it's the same thing as Tulsi. Now, look, this race has got me all screwed up. I switched parties over as a goddamn Democrat to vote for Andrew Yang. Okay, that was tough enough. And then you start listening to Tulsi, and I was like, who in the hell is this? I mean, I knew who she was, but I never paid attention to any of her policies because I was a Republican. I was stuck in that bubble just like everybody else is. But the difference is I popped my bubble. Everybody else is still in their bubble right now that I'm trying to reach. There's a Republican bubble, Democrat bubble. And since now I'm a veteran of 1.5 years of the Democrat side, I feel that I can try to pop some of them bubbles, but I kind of do it with a little bit of tough love, a little heat up against a snowflake and a backhand every once in a while, and try to follow it up with some common sense. So first, I like to offend, maybe. I don't like to offend. I just like to speak my mind, but my personality tends to result in offense immediately, and then we can have a conversation about real shit. And once we start talking real shit, all of a sudden, it's not a Republican and a Democrat talking. It's a human and a human talking with different experiences and with similar wants out of the future. And we all want the same thing. So, you know, why can't we just come and agree upon it? It's because there's so much party hatred. And like I said, after the election, the party hatred is going to fade away, and we can all just shut the fuck up with all the arguments, and we can have a conversation about real policies, real issues, and get this shit together. But what I was going to talk about Tulsi, man, I'd love to have Tulsi. Well, she would never be a VP because there's no chance that Andrew will run independent or Republican. He's going to stay on the Dem side, and he's doing, you know, he's playing the right game right now to stay on the Dem side and stay on the good graces, not like Tulsi did. Tulsi stood up when she saw true corruption, and the DNC slammed her and made sure that every Democrat knew how evil Tulsi was, you know, carrying water for terrible regimes overseas, Syria, Bashar al-Assad, all this ridiculous shit, just because she's willing to go over there and talk. Why can't we go over there and talk? It's the same, and that's the only reason Trump can't have good relations with Putin right now. I'm going to scare people off right now and say, you know what? Putin makes a lot of sense when he talks. If you watch some TV over there, you listen to some of his policies, it's not batshit, guys. You listen to some of our policies, and that stuff sounds batshit. Putin's not batshit. Tulsi's not batshit. Bashar al-Assad's not batshit. They come from different areas in the world with different histories. And guess what? history isn't American history. It's just not. We all have different different lives. We all have different pasts, but we can all work together to have a similar future.
Yeah, people don't realize like that, you know, how good we have it here in America as far as like not having to deal with a lot of, I guess you would say, threats, like that there are in other countries, man. And we've gone in so many times with these regime change wars, and it's nuts what America like. People want to talk about like how great America is, man. We've done some fucked up stuff in this world, man. We are not innocent by any means, you know, and people don't take that into account when they talk about how great we are. Man, look at our history.
You know, our history's fucked up. I mean, and I'm not even going back all the way to slavery, which is, you know, let's not even get started on the slavery thing and then the Native American thing. Let's just do the last $150, 150 years. I mean, plug in a Noam Chomsky. I suggest anybody just listen to a couple of hours of talks by Noam Chomsky to see what kind of fucked up shit we've done over the past recent decades, even if we call it the last 100 years. But, you know, before the revolution, you know, 150, we've gotten ourselves into a lot of shit, but we've also done a great job of covering that up. I mean, I didn't even realize, and I stay up to this stuff. I'm interested in politics, geopolitics, business, things like this. And I wasn't fully aware of what assholes we really are, and we really are assholes. And it took Noam Chomsky, because you listen to Noam Chomsky's stories, you know, you're like, shut the fuck up, old man. And you look at it, you research it. Noam Chomsky doesn't lie about a damn thing. So you listen to him and you go ahead and research it on your own, and you'll see some of the stuff that we've done. And that's what Tulsi wants to change. And, you know, I'd like to see her as a, I don't know, SecDef or something, something having to do with foreign affairs. And I think Andrew would bring her on something like that. He can't bring her on as a VP, because the establishment DNC, as corrupt as it is, would absolutely throw a wrench in it if they're not already going to try to now. But Andrew's doing the right thing with the CNN cuddling up, wink, wink crap. And, you know, we're going to be on the good side of the DNC when it's important this time. And Hail Mary, baby, we're going to get in there.
Man, I can't fucking stand the DNC, dude.
Oh,
I can't. These establishment, I mean, it fucking makes me sick when I see like Bernie's a sellout, fucking Elizabeth Warren. She just, come on, man. It's nuts.
Just say Pocahontas. I love saying Pocahontas. Man. No, love that.
It's great, and that's what Donald. We were talking. You were mentioning how, you know, maybe we're just kind of assholes, and we just like calling people out, busting people's bubbles. And I think that's what drew a lot of us towards Donald Trump so much. Like, one, you just started doing your knowledge on the Clintons, and I mean, geez, there's no way that we can't even, like, I don't even want to get into it because I'm not trying to come up missing. But but it's nuts. And it was, you know, Donald Trump comes along, man, and he's like, you know what? Fuck them. I'm taking a steel chair to the swamp, and we are running them up out of there. And I'm going to get rid of all this corruption. As Donald Trump comes along and says that, man, you're like, yeah, okay, we know shit's fucked up in Washington. Now we got somebody who's going to go up in there and he's going to clean house. Let's do it. Let's go. And, you know,
no, that's it. I mean, Trump came with two middle fingers in the air to everybody. And everybody thinks that all Republicans are in love with Trump. They fucking hated Trump in the beginning. Everybody hated Trump in the beginning. 100%. He talked shit to everybody. And he pulled in the China shopped his way through everything. And up until the end, the RNC people connected were saying, you know what, even if he gets the nom, we're not gonna vote for him. That's big stuff. You know, you don't, as corrupt as the DNC is, you still don't hear them talking shit like that, except about Bernie. But Bernie's a different animal. But yeah, everybody hated Trump. Trump had the attitude, and you know, it's like I told Andrew, Trump came in with "fuck you" money, and that's what we loved about him. When you walk in with "fuck you" money, fingers in the air to the establishment, and he said, you know, he's going to bring some troops back. Well, but he also said he's going to bring some troops back and all that shit, and he hasn't really done that. He did that with Syria, and then every fucking Democrat in the world fell in love with Kurds. We love the Kurds. Oh my God, the Kurds. We love them. Please don't turn our back on the Kurds. No one knows what the fuck a Kurd is. Shut the fuck up. But what we did is we took the troops. We took the troops away from Syria, and that's step one. If we go and we did the same thing to Iraq, everybody would be all heard about how we're abandoning allies over there. I want everyone to shut the fuck up. I'm a Republican that is for smaller government, and smaller government, my fellow Republicans, also is the military. I want smaller government and smaller military. Now, we've stepped on a lot of toes, and I want to be able to backhand back. I want to be able to protect ourselves, but protecting ourselves doesn't mean having a permanent, huge base in you name the country, and we've got 3 in it. We can dial back a lot of those fucking dollars, bring them back, spend it on domestic problems that we have much of. 3 trillion, baby. That's UBI. I'm sorry, and we can do this thing. VAT, lower defense spending, financial transaction tax, and we're in like Flint. Everybody's out of. We kill poverty in this country, and then the countries across the world are going to see what we did. They're going to do the same thing, and it's going to be global. It's going to help humans, and we're going to stop the war. We're going to stop dropping bombs on brown people just because we can, and they can't fight back. Oh shit, they've got some oil. Let's go blow that shit up. And Trump did the same goddamn thing with Venezuela. He tried to do a coup by text. I've never heard of coup by text. He sure as fuck tried to do it, dumbass. I'll call people out whenever they make a mistake, but a coup by text is something special. I've never seen that.
I mean, Donald Trump, he's just full of surprises. But look, we are 21 minutes into this, and Mama YangGang hasn't said anything.
I was just letting y'all talk.
But look, if that's just it. If me and him get to talking, that's all we're gonna do is talk. So I'm gonna let you take over the interview for him for a second.
I'm just the quiet one. I was gonna ask you about stimulus, though. What do you think is gonna happen with the CARES Act?
I just don't know. It's because everybody is posturing on both sides. I know what should happen. I know what has happened. Round one promised people like me, small businesses. They said, "Hey, don't let go of your staff." Okay, I know I launched my office staff, but I still have contractors on the ground that go out and do physical stuff, and that won't be taken care of until we have level 5 autonomy in vehicles. But they said, don't drop your contracts. Don't let go of your staff. We got you. You take this loan out, but we were promised 20 G's or so, and go ahead and pay your staff. If you can prove that you paid your staff, then we'll forgive the loans. Sounds great to me. I go within the first hour the program was released. I go through the SBA, just like I'm supposed to, like a good little fucking boy. And God, I hate cussing to women. I'm sorry. I'm not talking to him anymore. I'm talking to her. I go to the SBA like a good boy, and I fill out my stuff, and but I didn't get, by the time the bank gets back to me, the SBA gets back to me, sorry, all the funds have been taken by the big companies. It's like, okay, well, that's strange. PPP, that's part of it. Same thing. Your promise paycheck protection program. I was within the first hour, went to the right spot, my bank. That's another fatal mistake they made. They released all those funds to the banks to filter them to us. But you know what banks do? They give them to their great business customers. I'm not a good business customer because I run debt-free. I don't need banks. I like to have less nicer things and run debt-free. That's just the way that I roll, and I wish other people would roll like that in our country. We'd have less debt. But I digress. I'm not a good business banking customer, and so all the money ran out. They gave it to all their big ones, and especially people. I mean, if you're a bank and you have a ton of cash from the government to lend, who are you going to give it to? People that owe you money or people that don't owe you money? You're going to give it to people that owe you money, because you want to get that stuff back. And so that's what has happened. Now, what will happen? I don't even know if we're going to get any more direct relief. I don't know if Congressman Ryan is legit. I've reached out to him. I want to talk to him. I want to grill him, because all of a sudden we've got Dems talking about, we need to inject liquidity directly to the people. Where the heck have you been all these months and years? And all of a sudden people are coming out of the woodwork, kind of biting on Andrew's rhymes. I like it, but I want to make sure that it's genuine. So maybe we'll get another stimulus check. Maybe we won't. It certainly won't be recurring. And it's just a fiasco all the way around. And, you know, your guess is as good as mine where it goes. We've got, you know, like I said, Rokana Ryan and the author of the Green New Deal. They've got their thing that they're trying to pass through. But then we've got a bunch of idiots on our side that are ready to rubber stamp a no on anything, too. So it's all about the backroom deals. And don't get me started on Pelosi, she's so full of crap. All of her stuff that she's talking about is absolute nonsense. I can't believe a word that comes out of that woman's mouth. So to answer your question, I don't know.
I mean, that's a pretty good damn answer. That's kind of where we're all at, you know. I mean, one thing that I've come to realize, you know, and this is kind of a Republican thing, is, you know, this whole concept of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. You know, it's kind of ingrained in us, especially over here on the conservative side. But it's a good mindset to have, even when you don't have any bootstraps to pull yourself up by. You know, it's a good mentality to have. I'm not going to be stopped. It doesn't matter. You know, it's so funny because we were talking. This is actually the first time that we've spoken directly. But, you know, we were talking through Twitter in the messages, and we were joking around about all of us Trumpers looking alike and stuff. And it sounds funny, but, you know, I got to thinking, well, why is that? You know, because it's funny, because that is kind of the joke that goes around.
Because we're tired from working. I'm just kidding.
Well, the conclusion that I came to was that the reason why there's people like me and you and Fred and so many others that came from the Trump side was because we were the white working class that Trump was speaking to in the Rust Belt that he won, where people's jobs had been automated away. The people who felt like, you know, that section of society that felt like it was getting left behind. You know, when I was growing up, where we lived in Akron, Ohio, you know, things were flourishing, and then all of a sudden automation took over and they closed all the plants. Now all of a sudden this thriving community is just a ghost town. There's no jobs. People are starving. People are getting poorer and poorer and poorer, and it's crazy. So I think that's part of what it is we're that class that Donald Trump was speaking to. And that's why we're over here with Andrew Yang now, because he properly identified the problem. You know, on the conservative side, we're sitting there thinking, you know, we're talking about building the wall and it's immigrants stealing our jobs. When you grow up in an area like I grew up in, you realize that it's not. It actually is robots, you know, because it decimated the Rust Belt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't know if you ever saw that skit by Dave Chappelle when he said that he rolled up. I think he's from Ohio too, right? Yeah. He rolled up at the polling station and he said he saw what scared the hell out of him: a bunch of dusty white people. And so he said, "Oh shit, these are working class white people. They're coming up to vote." He said Trump's going to be president. And you know, it's funny because I come from a different background. You know, I'm at that time I'm born and raised in L.A. And so, you know, I'm from the blue area, and you know, I saw the problems coming too, and you could see why like you said, the Rust Belt was absolutely going to jump on the Trump train. God, I saw that from the beginning when he started talking. At first, I read Trump's book as a kid. I've always respected Trump, and I know that's going to make people lose their shit on this interview. But you know, whatever, man. I read Art of a Deal when I was a teenager. It's a great fucking book, and I challenge any of you guys to go read it. And you know, he was talking to the Rust Belt, and he was talking stuff that made sense. You know, he wasn't going after NAFTA and all that stuff, which is exactly what it was. But when he goes to the business community, he talks about NAFTA and what the fuck the Democrats did. Look what these idiots, the Democrats, did with globalization. They're putting in NAFTA. They want to put in a TPP. They want to put in all these global trade alliances that take manufacturing and put it with people that we can pay $5 a week. And that makes goods and services less expensive. Makes all the sense in the world, except People here used to do that job. And now you have people in the Rust Belt fucked off. They don't have a job and they're pissed and they're trying to pay for their family. And now they're going on, they're looking for benefits and going on disability. Oh shit, my ankle hurts, and all these things that you don't want to do, but you have to do to take care of your family. And that's because of globalization. And so, Trump's doing some good things with the trade negotiations that people just cannot accept. Because again, it's that whole Trump eats babies in his cereal for breakfast and he's the Antichrist. Shut the fuck up for a moment and watch what he's doing. He's doing some good things with the trade agreements. He is going to bring some of those jobs back. He already has, but they're going to be automated away. So as a stopgap, we're going to get some jobs. They're going to keep some bodies busy, and that's a good thing. But we're going to get the infrastructure back here in the United States. And when we have more and more machines and code doing the widget making and the service providing, we're going to have that infrastructure back here in America like we should, instead of handing the ball off to China, which means handling all the profits off to China. So right now, as a global economic idea, Trump is doing the right things, and people just are not willing to understand that, just because once you hear the word Trump, oh, he grabs women by the, and it's just a stupid conversation.
That's so crazy as you mentioned that, because we were talking about this the other day, that the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump was Donald Trump, he took that shit head on, and he acted like it wasn't, like it didn't even make a fuck. That's what was crazy about it. He was like, "Oh, it's just locker room talk, just locker room talk. Don't even worry about it." And kept it hot. He kept it moving. And Joe Biden, he's like let this whole thing fester with this Tara Reid stuff. Like, man, he hasn't addressed it. This is going to blow up in his face. The Democrats have like, what are they thinking? Like, I don't even understand it, man. I'm just like, how do they even believe that Joe Biden is the least bit electable? Like, my gosh, at least give Bernie a shot, the get off my lawn guy. You know what I'm saying? Because at least he might make it an interesting debate. Donald Trump's going to get up there and it's going to be like me fighting my 4-year-old, man. It's not even going to be fair.
It's going to be sad shit to watch, man. It's going to be like watching elder abuse. It's like I say, it's going to be much must-see TV if they do debate. It's going to be sad. But even in
Are you saying elder abuse is must-see TV?
Absolutely. I mean, let's profit, baby. Let's profit where we can. You know what we should do? We should have 5-year-olds attack Biden, like the old gladiator days, and we'll see what happens. See, that would be must-see TV too. Biden would probably lose. And on a test against a 5th grader, he would lose on a test if he wanted to go scholastically as well. But yeah, Biden is definitely not electable. Just zero chance. When I'm having these arguments, I like to have arguments about shit that matters. And when you have people talking about and all of a sudden riding with Biden, I mean, what are you doing? Are you fucking kidding me? It's Joe Biden. I mean, come on, man. I know I was on Joe Biden for like 3 weeks saying, hey, let's and this is when Joe Biden, nobody gave a shit about Biden anymore because they thought Bernie was going to take it. Now I saw Biden still very dangerous, and I made some videos saying that we need to get Andrew and Biden aligned, because that would have been something that would have brought Biden back, and that would have given Andrew the clout that he needed at the time. And I wonder where we'd be at right now if they would have aligned back in the day. And that's when I was DMing you guys. You guys were right there when Andrew was giving a speech. It would have been in Iowa, and I was just screaming, "Tell him to watch one of my fucking videos. I've got this great idea. He needs to do this." And
oh my gosh, okay. I remember that. I absolutely remember that was you. Okay, my bad.
I'm saying, dude, this is the play. This is the play. See, I didn't know at that time if Andrew's watching my stuff. I'm sure not, because that was a busy time, as when he was riding through Iowa and New Hampshire and stuff. But there were some plays to be had that his team either didn't spell out or didn't see, because they were so fucking busy wiping the sweat out of their eyes because they were campaigning so hard. But people back like us that maybe had a helicopter view and were sleeping soundly at night because we weren't racing all over the fucking place, had some good ideas. And I sure think, man, if Andrew would have went up to Biden at that time and said, hey, look, you're losing your ass here. Let's make this alliance. You announced me as VP. I know it's unorthodox, but you know what? There's a lot of shit unorthodox. Bernie's unorthodox to the Dem side. And, you know, let's make this alliance be known. And if they did that, I still think Biden would have immediately rose in the polls because Andrew brings so many different people that Biden just can't. And you know, we'd be sitting pretty with Andrew as a Veep, and with Biden, if he goes through and makes his first term, would most likely kill the second term and hand it over to Andrew, and life would be good.
I think you may have seen a greater influx of Trump voters towards the Democrat side had that happen with Andrew becoming the VP pick. But, you know, I'm sitting here and like it would have never worked because Tom Perez and the DNC would have never let it happen. They want to pick their establishment bums and keep putting them up there. And, man, Trump's just going to knock them back down. I mean, like, everything that Trump says sticks. It doesn't matter if he's lying through his teeth, it sticks, at least for a minute. And like I hear Joe Biden is like, he's picked out his name for Trump to battle him with, and it's President Tweety. It's like, bruh, that is the best that you can come up. You've been sitting in your fucking basement for 6 months now doing nothing, and that's the best that you could come up with was President Tweety. That's it. That's all you got.
Yes, that's going to be the best. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was going to say, go ahead. But I wanted to ask you about how you were blocked by the Tommy Chong, because I saw that on Twitter. How did that happen?
Bubbles. It's all about bubbles. I mean, it's if you can't get along with Cheech and Chong, I mean, you know, it's high as fuck. And I mean, I reach out to him and say, hey, look, you know, OG YangGang, you know, whatever. I know you shit on Trump people all the time, but, you know, I did it all diplomatically and shit all sweetie. And, you know, I olive branched the guy. I said, hey, look, not all Trump voters are as bad as you think. I'm OG YangGang. You know, maybe we can come to an understanding. And this dipshit turns right around and retweets me to his, 500,600,000 followers, you know, just talking shit, saying that, you know, he can't get with me because I'm blinded by Trump and I have to block you. So I can't even respond to his stupid tweet because he blocked me right away. And so the DMs light up and all that shit from a bunch of stoners in the basements. But, you know, it's just, it's a perfect illustration of how we are so encapsulated in these damn bubbles, and the media has made the bubbles, and Trump's helped it, you know. But I understand where Trump's coming from with creating the bubbles, because you know what? If I'm coming into a job and everybody's after me, including on, you know, quote unquote my side, I've got the Republican, I got the DNC, I got I'm sorry, the RNC and the DNC. I've got all the Democrats, I've got all the Republicans, I've got the deep state, I've got the MSM. Everybody's against me. I might be pretty quick on the trigger too. And so if I'm going to talk shit, and that's how I became president, I'm going to continue to talk shit. And so he's very divisive, absolutely. But you know what? He has that Republican base sewn up so much so that he's going to win re-election by a landslide. And I thought the Dems' best chance would have been Bloomberg. But then Bloomberg, my God, he came out and he couldn't speak human on the goddamn debate stage. I was like, what the fuck is this? You made $1 billion, bro? Many billions. I mean, how? Have you ever had a meeting? Have you ever communicated to human beings before? And so I was like, okay, that didn't work. So he's done. And so I went back to thinking Bernie was going to be the thing. But then Trump would have killed Bernie. With the whole socialist talk and all that, it would have been a failure. And so after Bloomberg failed away, I knew it was a done deal. Trump's going to win again, and here we go. We're going to have Yang 2024. And I still thought that Biden didn't have a chance, and then all of a sudden the DNC waved their magic craziness and had good old riding with Biden happen, and now it's just going to be a complete cakewalk.
Dennis, I want you to humor me for just a second. I want to talk about a strange parallel universe where shit is so fucked up in America that somehow Biden just completely, his head explodes. Elizabeth Warren, her head explodes. I don't know. All their heads explode, and the Andrew Yang, because of the situation in that America, is by default the candidate to go against Donald Trump. Because if I'm the DNC, right, I'm looking at Joe Biden and I'm like, fuck, man, we're fucked. There's no way we're winning. Which, you know, which kind of, you know, that may be their game. They don't really care because it's a for-profit corporation. And really, Donald Trump is good for fucking business.
Still gonna buy bombs.
You know, it's crazy. But I don't know, man. I wish that there was that universe where we could just step into it, where by default, Andrew, because of the coronavirus and automation, and he becomes the candidate. It's not gonna happen, is it?
Ain't happening, baby. But you know what? We're going to get Trump for 4 more years. It's not the end of the world, even though the Dem side thinks that it is. And again, they'll have their little party with their thumb clapping and all that crap, and their pea hat parades and their screamings. You know, he's my president again. Let's just prepare your eyes, brother, because we're going to do some eye rolling. So do your eye exercises. And
I'm already doing it, bro. Let me tell you what happened, man. Let me tell you what happened. Like, okay. So, you know, we're pretty OG YangGang. We started covering Andrew about before anybody. And we had the awesome fortune of being on the Moving Forward podcast. And I just did call him out. And I said that I wasn't going to back in the day, but hell, it's over now. Anyway, after, you know, we went on that podcast, and they've been our friends all the way up until Andrew dropped out. And now it's like everybody went back into their little fucking bubbles. And I said something about, one of them said that all Trump supporters should be shunned and just driven into the obscurity of society or whatever it was. And I was like, you know what? It's a good thing that Andrew Yang didn't have that mentality, or we wouldn't fucking be here. We wouldn't be on the Democrat side if Andrew had that mentality. And
yeah, I like how he responded when you told Andrew, when you interviewed him, how you told him you were voting for Trump this time again. And he didn't respond by calling you scum and telling you, no, you have to vote for Joe. You know,
and
really
that's what was so. And both of those dudes blocked me. Yeah. They blocked me for trying to have a reasonable, rational conversation. And I'm like, you fucking lost your libtard minds. No, I mean, absolutely. It's crazy.
I'm having the exact same experiences. At first, you know, all the liberals were saying, "Oh my God, he's some kind of magical creature. He's can we touch him? He's a Republican," and they loved us, right? And now that, I mean, shit, my Twitter has said for forever, you know, if Yang's not on the ballot, I'm Trump again. And at the time, people loved that. You know, oh my God, we're getting Republicans on our side. And then guess what? Yang's not on the ballot, and I'm voting for Trump again. And now I'm a fucking Nazi again. I mean, and I'm not shitting you. Literally, an hour? You guys go check my Twitter. An hour before you and I are doing this, I literally got called a Nazi. And that's from YangGang. It's from a YangGang member, a blue hat. So, you know, it's like, and it's because, you know, I'm kind of standing up for Trump. And I told another fellow YangGang, hey, talk shit about Trump, you know, because that's what he was doing. He was fighting me back. And I said, hey, talk shit about Trump all day long if it's legit, as long as it's not MSM bubble crap. And so he and I were cool. And then somebody else, a blue hat, came in and just, you know, showed a big picture of Nazis and Nazi flags and all this shit. It's like,
it's crazy,
man. Come on.
It's crazy, bro. It's so nuts because I'm like, you know, one thing that I've had the good fortune. I'm glad that Andrew Yang came along because it made me a better person. It made me get out of my Republican bubble. It made me come over here to the Democrat side, and it made me take a look around and really realize that most of us are just right there in the middle. Most of us are just the broke folk vote trying to get by. We all want our neighbors to do better. We all want our family to do better. We're not racist. I'm not a racist. I don't give a pick whichever letter of the alphabet you want. I don't care. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? And like, to be demonized and vilified, I'm just like, it's no wonder you fucking lost.
No, loser. Absolutely. It's absolutely crazy. And I mean, I got so sick of it. It happened so fast for me. And you know, I call up Fred and I said, Fred, we got to do a video, bro, about racism on the Democrat side. And he's like, are you out of your fucking mind? You know? And I said, hey, let's do it. So I talked him into it. And he and I talked for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. It's on my YouTube channel about racism and how we're not racist. And not every Republican is racist. But you know what? Every Democrat, well, I shouldn't say every Democrat, throw air quotes up, make it easy on yourselves. Every Democrat always sees a Republican and says, oh, fucking Nazi, you know? And it's like, God damn it, dude. You know, we're half the voting fucking population of the country. You tell me that half the goddamn country is Nazis, is racist, they're xenophobes, they're homophobes, they hate women. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, you got to pull your heads out of your asses and realize that we're all Americans. And demonizing any other side like that, it's just so counterproductive. But again, I digress. I'm ready for the battle until election season, until the election. When the election's over, we're still going to come together. I'm still reaching out every day as much as I can, but I'm focused on the Republican side, and you know that's the main catalyst of why Andrew and I did that interview, is because I want to show that interview to the Republican side, so we can start on this coming election cycle and really start the ball rolling nice and early. So I'm going to get some indies, I'm going to get Republicans and get some non-voters and say, you know, look, this guy's a good guy. He's got the policies. We're going to have intelligent conversations, and hopefully none of those conversations are going to be about how much I hate people of color. I swear to God.
It's crazy. You know, Carmen Jones, I wanted to call this comment out. Carmen said that, how you doing with that? How you doing that with Trump? He ain't interested in helping the broke folk vote. It's him and his cronies. And I want to address that for a second. You know what? You may be right. But let me tell you something. Ain't none of them damn Democrats up there interested in helping the fucking people either. The problem is, both sides work for the same damn corporations and the same lobbyists. It's all about the money. So you ain't doing that with the Democrat side either. And I would much rather have Donald Trump, who could put two sentences together at least coherently, rather than Joe Biden. Come on, man. What are you voting for? You know what I'm saying? This is both sides. The corruption is on both sides. And until we get Andrew Yang in 2024 and we pass something like democracy dollars and we wash out the corporate money, none of this shit matters. So you might as well buckle up for 4 more years of Trump, because it's coming.
So Carmen Jones, we're not going anywhere. Go ahead and respond to that, because I couldn't descend it any better than what he just did. So go ahead and get to clicking. I'd like to see your response. And I shall suggest that you're not going to have a good response to that, because do you think Joe is for the broke vote? The broke folk vote? Sorry, I got to get your shit down, man. Listen. He signed away bankruptcy reform. I'm in the banking industry. When they signed that shit in, we were like, what? We can now lower our credit standards. We can make more money. We can charge higher interest, because you know what? It's going to be hard as fuck for these people to file bankruptcy. I mean, Joe Biden has done so many things to kill the broke folk vote. I don't know why I can't say that, goddammit. But he is not for you. And Bernie was for you. Bernie's batshit crazy. He has all man, Bernie does not understand economics, okay? He would have fucked the country up. None of his stuff would have passed, but it would have been a big old waste of time, and everybody would have just been tired at the end of 2024. But he has terrible policies. I mean, God, give me any Bernie supporter, I'll fucking destroy him in 5 minutes. And but Biden is not for you. Has Carmen, was that her name? Has she responded yet?
Carmen, him or her, I don't know.
Yeah, I should not assume gender. My bad.
For sure. There are some who aren't.
No, that's a response. Jesus Christ, I thought we were going to debate.
There's there's really no debate because we already know how corrupt politics are. We already know that most that
yeah, man.
Brian said it was a
vote. Build that wall. No, I'm just kidding.
A tongue twister. Broke folk vote. I know but it kind of rolls off your tongue after you learn how to say
this
it. Right?
tongue, man. You have experience doing it. Broke folk vote. Boom.
Well, I'm from the country, and we run all of our words together anyway, so it's kind of natural for us.
Oh, Rads is here, man. I love her.
Yeah, we hope Rad's doing well. Man, we have gone 50 minutes, man, and I just honestly feel like we could just keep going down this rabbit hole for another 2 hours if we wanted to, because we both see, you know, what's going on, and it's so funny because there's such a consensus from the Republicans who moved over to vote for Andrew Yang about how things are, and I just find that it's much easier to sell Andrew Yang's policies to Republicans. So that's what we're going to keep doing, brother. Is there any last words that you wanted to say before we get out of here?
I mean, I would be campaigning for Trump, but there's just no reason to, because you know, we're up against Biden. So don't vote for Biden. I mean, if you're going to vote for Biden, you have to have your head examined anyway. So there's nothing really to say except for snowflakes. Get your freezer out. Stay cool. Understand that you're going to have Trump 4 more, and after that, we're going to have Andrew Yang. Now, at the end of 2024, we're going to have so many Trump orphans looking for a home, and they're just going to want common sense stuff, and they need people with level heads, okay? Not a bunch of Democrats screaming at Republicans, calling them Nazis and shit. Knock that shit out. Level heads, have intelligent conversations, and I'm telling you, you're going to be able to pull Republicans. I am one. You're going to be able to pull Republicans. You're going to be able to pull Dems. You're going to be able to pull Libertarians. You're going to be able to pull independents, non-voters, disengage. You're going to be able to pull all of these people under common sense fucking policies. Calm the fuck down. You're getting Trump, but we're also getting Yang. That's how I would end it.
I mean, I guess I couldn't have said it much better. You know, it's the truth. It's the truth. There's nobody that, I don't care who you put as a VP for Joe Biden, that is going to tip the scales that much in his favor. Nobody. Your best shot was Yang. Hang up your spurs for 4 years. It's all good. We're going to start campaigning here in another couple hours. I mean, as soon as this shit's over, campaign season will be starting again, and we'll be full on out trying to come. I mean, we haven't stopped. Our whole thing is we need to 10x the Yang Gang, and which is kind of what we're doing with the Trickle Up Network that both you and I are a part of.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you go over there and check that out. The Trickle Up is up. It is live. It is running. Man, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to see. But you know what? I'm kind of thinking too, man. We had discussed this. All the Trump supporters who are hardcore MAGA, they're going to want Junior to run. And I think that they're going to pile on that bandwagon because there's a whole mentality class over there that's
seen it a
it's
lot.
the Trump family succession thing that they got going on over there. It's crazy, bro.
Junior's going to run. I mean, he's going to run, and he's another guy with two fingers in the air. And you know, hey, I like Trump Jr. He's got some interesting shit to say, and he tries to show that he's a tough guy. He's got some, and that's what I was about to say. He's trying to be as tough as Dad, but he's not. And so he has to go, he has to overcompensate for that. And so, you know, he'll send out some stupid memes and shit like that. But, you know, he'll run. I mean, I think that some Trump base will stay for little Donnie Jr. there. But it's not going to be as widespread as with Daddy Boy. And, you know, no, that we're going to have Trump orphans ready to jump ship for Andrew Yang. We just have to have level-headed conversations to explain finances to these people and let them know, look, you want a fucking grand a month? You want a grand a month? It's not going to hurt. You know, we're going to take it out of the point of value add. We're going to take it from financial transaction taxes. It makes sense. And here's the plan. And they'll look at it and say, Wait, you mean we're not going to go into debt for it? No, we're not going to go into debt for it. It won't cause inflation. No, it's not going to cause inflation. It makes sense. And here's the policy. And anybody can get behind this.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for being on here, Dennis. It's been wonderful. We're going to have to do this again real soon because I think we've got a pretty good vibe that goes on, man, because we kind of think a whole lot alike. So Thank you so much for being on here, brother.
Absolutely, brother. Good meeting you guys, and talk to you later.
For sure.
See ya on Twitter.
Right. Well, there you have it.
I'll post you. And you can subscribe to Trumper for Yang. It's in the description.
In the description. Make sure that you go down there and show him some love. Awesome dude. Got a good handle as far as like the landscape of the situation. I mean,
it's funny.
He had me cracking up. We hope that you enjoy this American Dystopia family, where we take the dis out of Dystopia.
That's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing.
It's not a thing.
It's not a thing.
It's definitely not a thing.
Make sure y'all wearing your mask when you go out, and I hope you have. Yeah.
Make sure you wear your mask when you go out.
If you want to wear that mask, do it. I mean, now's the chance. Have you ever wanted to wear a crazy looking mask out in public? Now's your chance. Okay, we can end the stream now. Goodbye.
We all get to look like bank robbers.
I know. How cool
back
is
in the
that?
day, like a Wild Wild West. Yeah. And
why would you not want that?
That shit is only gonna go on until somebody gets fucking robbed or something. Then the mask ain't gonna be a thing no more.
I mean, they'll get one of those really cool bandanas that may, and you know, even put on a cowboy hat, wear some, wear your 6-shooters, do whatever, you know.
Look, right there. We take the diss out of Utopia. Yeah.
Wait, no, because you can't.
Yeah, because we ain't trying to diss nobody.
Yeah, but you can't take the diss out of Utopia.
Because ain't no diss in Utopia.
Yeah, take the diss out of dystopia.
We put the dysfunction in Utopia.
Whatever.
I don't even know. Gang, we love you.